There we go. Yeah. Something like that. Oh yeah. Probably fucked it up. No, didn't fuck it up. Got noise outside. Should I care? Should I care? I'm gonna care. Give me a second. There you go. Word. All right, I knew the camera would be all like weird now, so let's figure this out. I think I'm good. Behind the scenes action right now. Real shit. Can I get the whole head in there? Can my whole head fit in there? Let's see. It looks like I got my whole head in there and all too as well. Behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. Let's go back. Give me a moment. All right. Hello and welcome back to the Hype Bulletin, hosted by yours truly, Ralph Mentor, where I will talk about where Ralph has been for the past month, it seems like, at least. No, but definitely get back into the NBA playoffs and all. As you can see with the cover, we had a couple pivotal game sixes yesterday, this past Friday, at least on too as well. So I'm so rusty, but let's bring on the intro. Hey, welcome back. And now if you guys are watching on the YouTube side, please press on that subscribe button, share this episode, and even comment too for the upcoming topics I'm about to have on the episode and all too as well. And if you guys are listening on the playback situation on podcast and all too as well, please continue at us to library share the podcast too as well. Probably something I should have been promoting since the beginning at least and all too as well. And share the podcast, leave a rating and all too as well to help support the podcast. If you guys listen on Apple, Spotify, and Overcast and all, super rusty. I know it's gonna be pretty bad at least and all too as well. But as you can see, got a little blue screen going all too as well, which is so ironic. Cause I got this thing like last week, if not 2 weeks ago, and I had a situation with my vehicle and all too as well. Let's bring up the main and all too as well. This is so cool. I ain't gonna lie. Look at me. Got the image right behind me and all too as well. But this thing that I've had for the past 4 years, it would have been 4 years this September and all. This thing gave out on me. The engine just went out on me and all too as well. Now it could have been rod bearings or a crankshaft thing and all too as well. But we're looking at an estimate of $4,000 to start just to fix that engine all too as well. Look at the body of that thing. Thing looks beautiful. I would have more photos, but only sent one photo to the email and all too as well. I was gonna go too drastic about my situation with my vehicle and all too as well. But yeah, super disappointing that lost this thing. Now for the beginning of the year now, I'll go a little bit more deeper into the situation and all too as well if I can have it. And all too as well. But in the beginning of the year, when my Patriots in the Super Bowl and all too as well, Sunday before, look how ugly that thing is. Let me get the cursor. Do you see the cursor that I'm doing right there? That's a fuel injector. that used to have threads on top of it and all too as well. That got snapped off and all too as well. Look at that little thing. Look at that thing. Look at where my cursor's at. That's where I was trying to pull with pliers, with a wrench, I think, and all too as well. Trying to pull that thing out. Got some advice from mechanics and I'll use a pry bar and all, but looking at that, I don't know how I was fitting a pry bar in that situation all too as well. So yeah, the first Monday of the 2026 year, That's what I was dealing with. Now, it didn't look like that the first day and all. Just they got the code on the computer of the car at least and all. Then eventually got into this in February and all too, as I mentioned. That's why, I didn't have a preview episode of the podcast. And then maybe I wouldn't have show up. Maybe I wouldn't have showed up for the Patriots losing in that horrible game and all too as well. But didn't have a chance to have a preview episode because of this situation with a stuck fuel injector. And yeah, this was in February of this year and all too as well. Now it's gone. The car is gone. That's why I have so much time now to actually record a podcast for you, as well, not too as well. But I just got rid of the car now too as well. They give it up, gave out like a, kind of maybe sold it for $5,000 at least, and all a fifth of that. So I basically made of that and all too as well. So for my hiatuses over the year at least and all too as well. And ironically, like I said, the Patriots lost in the Super Bowl game and all too as well, and then the Celtics blow a 3-1 lead against the Philadelphia 76ers and all too as well. So I know that's like a little background thing to all that, but that stuff right there, I've been dealing with the vehicle and all now. Like I said, with the crankshaft, looks like going out, and apparently, shout out to ChatGPT and all too as well. It looks like if there's like shavings in your oil filter or just in your oil in general, either one or the other, it's like crankshaft or rod bearings. I thought it was the rod bearings. When you take a look at the color of the shavings, I think it's the crankshaft too as well and all too as well. So that's all done and all too as well. And like I said, it cost me $4,000. That situation I just showed you there cost me $1,000 just to get through and all too as well. 8 and change, and then shout out to the mechanics, they found something else. And all too as well, I kind of blamed them for another situation I was dealing with that vehicle, but it turned out to be my fault. I had to use a vacuum to get out of it, and then I thought that would solve the knocking noise that ultimately being the rod bearings and the crankshaft going out and all too as well. So I don't anticipate any more like hiatuses at this point and all too as well. I got the Red Sox winning a game and all too as well. So maybe some hiatuses there and there throughout the summer at least and all too as well. We'll see how the Red Sox can turn into some type of competitive type of team and all too as well. But yeah, shout out to my hiatuses for the 2026 year. I'm going to blame my 2013 BMW X3. In the beginning of this situation too as well, I was on a run of saying F BMW, excuse my language, but fuck BMW and all too as well. But again, I'll take my L and understand that you shouldn't get a car that's 13 years old, and I don't care how many mileage on it. Mind you, mine had 85,000 miles on it, so I thought it was good. That was gonna be good for a while, but definitely not. Now I'm gonna have a car, but definitely gonna have time for this type of stuff and all too as well. And shout out to the blue screen and all too as well. I wanted to show this out mad long ago since I came back from Puerto Rico. Shout out to Puerto Rico. Like that was the first part of my hiatus and all too as well. But coming back from Puerto Rico, like I said, I had a little situation with cylinder 5 of the car, and I fixed that. That would fix the knocking issue. Turned out to be something a bit bigger than I anticipated and all. And now I'm out of the vehicle. I think I'll be all right because I'm out of that situation. Because I'm telling you, since coming back from InvestFest in 2024 in September, I've been dealing with bullshit with that car and all. I was driving with high RPMs with that vehicle for like 9 months until I figured out it was a high fuel pump issue, and I fixed that. And then I'm back, as the situation again, back to the high RPMs with that fuel injector issue, and then I'm being a mountain of stuff that I cannot catch up with. I do not have time to be a mechanic of my vehicle and all too as well. As much as I enjoy it, got a whole bunch of tools in the closet right now too as well. I got plenty of time, or not plenty of time, but plenty of enthusiasm to work on my car from time to time. The BMW was definitely taking too much of my time, and probably too much of this podcast, if I'm being honest, and all too as well. So enough of my spiel of why I keep having hiatuses. I don't think that's happening anymore because I don't have that vehicle in my life anymore. So let's talk to more relevant things at this point, and NBA playoffs and all too as well. Now, last time I think I had an episode was after the game 2s of every series in the first round and all too as well, and obviously we're in game 6 or game 7 of a second round series, and all the other series, shout out to Victor Wembanyama, are all over and all too as well. Now, the best is not included, with my Boston Celtics being eliminated by the Philadelphia 76ers after a 3-1 lead and all too as well. But I will explain, and kind of understandable and all too as well, more outside of Joel Embiid coming back and probably making a difference and all too as well. But since I'm on it, basically talk about it. But let me bring it up on the blue screen, on the big screen. You know what I mean? That all too as well. But give me a moment. What are we looking for? NBA playoff bracket. Yeah, I don't know why I can't switch my search engine, my default to Google. I keep I keep using Bing, and I don't like Bing. You know what I mean? So I gotta figure that out and all too as well. But mind me, computer acting a little slow. I'm moving a little slow. There we go. You know what I mean? All that and above. Let's see if we get a zoom in going. All right, a little zoom in going. All right, so I guess the best won't be for last, the worst for first. And that would be the Boston Celtics at least too as well. I'm blowing a 3-1 lead. Like I said, I can't. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna go have a deep dive today and all too as well, because I'm just so damn behind and all too as well. But yeah, so unfortunate. Jeez. But at least, back to the car thing before I dive in and all too as well. Looks like a Jeep Wrangler or a Hyundai Tucson is looking like the move so far. I'm liking this whole idea of a hybrid, getting like extra 10 to 20 miles of gallons of gas and all. We all know, if you're an American or at least you pay attention to the news, we all know what's going on with gas situations and all too as well. So that's the thing with the gas guzzler that I was just bitching about. Yeah, I'll be comfortable saying that. I will find something better. I'm not liking this whole like electric thing and all too as well. But all right, I'm spieling again. It's not about me. It's about the NBA playoffs and all. This is a sports podcast. Last I checked that law. But yeah, I guess I'm trying to avoid the inevitable and all too as well. As you can see in the corner, right corner right there. There's my cursor there. Oh, I should probably work on that too. Get a bigger cursor for y'all. If I'm gonna be doing like PowerPoints basically. But and those boosts gonna be so cool. Yep, tanging again. Yeah. Celtics had a 3-1 lead. Like I said, I finished came last time I was here, at least we're coming after every 2 games and all, and the Celtics blew a game 2 game in Boston against the Philadelphia 76ers, ironically. Going into that and all too as well. But it came back into 3. I think, yeah, games 3 and 4. Tatum had a big moment at the end of game 3 and all. Then the Celtics blew out the Sixers in game 4 with Embiid's first game back, I believe that was, and all too as well. But Sixers figured out something in game 5, able to beat the Celtics in Boston again and all too as well. And then kind of dominated, if not dominated, commanded in game 6 and all too as well. And then in game 7, no Tatum, unfortunately for me, at least in all 2 as well. Mazzulla threw out the kitchen sink, basically I think he started Ron Harper and Baylor Shireman, if not Jordan Walsh too, in that scenario and all 2 as well. But wasn't enough. I guys, like I think I've been saying, at least to myself at this point, but at least to a couple other people. But lack of a point guard for this team really hurt for obviously the last 3 games of the season. I'll shout out to Brad Stevens in his postseason presser, at least not too as well. But the C's couldn't find an easy shot throughout that whole series and all too as well. Even though the whole series, throughout game 1 at least and all, because it's game 1 and all too as well. Things weren't easy. Jaylen Brown really didn't dominate, and guy was having an All NBA, quote unquote MVP type of season and all too as well, and didn't really have any impact outside of game 1 that I can remember, at least in all 2 as well. So I think really the lack of point guard and all, that's why I hated Peyton Pritchard starting to start the season, and thought it was cool to have him back on the bench. And as Celtics fans, we saw how much he flourished better in that scenario and all 2 as well, even still leading the league, I think with like 20-point games and all 2 as well, maybe even overall points coming off the bench, even starting late, coming off the bench in that in this past season, at least in all 2 as well. Unfortunately, it's a past season already. It's still May 2026 and all 2 as well. But yeah, I really feel like the lack of point guard hurt them. Derek White really didn't show out until like Jason Tatum was hurt, and he dropped 26 points, but he took over 20 shots just to get those 26 points and all 2 as well. I thought he would flourish a bit as your point guard, at least through the season and all 2 as well. Just seeing guys playing with Marcus Smart and playing with Drew Holiday the past couple seasons, I thought he would have picked something up and all 2 as well. He really didn't find any type of rhythm, I would say, offensively throughout the whole season. The shooting numbers god awful. Maybe had a game here or there. I think he dropped 40 points, if not close to 40 points once this season and all 2 as well. But still, I expected like 22 points per points per game out of him this season and all 2 as well. I think he barely, I don't think he even got to 20 this year and all 2 as well. That's why I'll give a huge shout out to Jaylen Brown. Like the points I expected going into the season, I expected what's it called? 25 points out of Jalen, 22 points out of Derek White, another 15 to 18 out of Peyton Pritchard and all too as well. So like that's like the substandard of how they're going to be in games throughout the whole season and all. Jalen Brown stepped up big time, and he's averaging close to 30 points a game this season all too as well. While Derek White's only averaging like 18, 18, 19 points a game and all too as well. So that's what kind of disappointing, how things flailed out for them and all too as well. But even Kada, like, you didn't really see his impact, in my opinion, offensively until Jason Tatum came back and all too as well. Just a guy that can, pass the ball in certain areas and all certain angles, in the game and all too as well. And I think you lack that with not having the point guard on the team and all. It's the first year, that the Boston Celtics haven't had a point guard on their team since like I can't even remember. You know what I mean? Drew Holiday the last couple of seasons, Marcus Smart, those years prior and all. You got what is it? Oh, Marcus Smart, I just said him, but Kemba Walker, a year or two prior and all too as well. Even Isaiah Thomas, who now is a scout for the Boston Celtics, ironically, me bringing him up in this type of convo at least and all. But those are the years, and yeah, Kyrie Irving obviously too as well in the middle of all that too as well. So they've always had at least, if not, Kyrie Irving's not a point guard, he's not a prototypical point guard, but the guy can play a point. The guy plays an impactful point guard in the NBA and all too as well, just with his shot making and all too as well, and still with his playmaking and all too as well. The guy's still a great passer, even though he's not well known for it. The guy can still a great passer and all, but it's the first year the season haven't really had a quote unquote point guard on their basketball team and all, and I think you saw that with the 3-1. 3-1 blow and all too as well. You can even see it last year because I'm a proponent that Drew Holiday wasn't healthy in that playoff series going in against the Knicks and all too as well. Had that hamstring injury against Orlando, unfortunately, and all. I think you kind of seen it throughout the season and all too as well. Was able to build up a bit more into the second half of the season and all, but the first half he started and they took it easy on him. So I really think he was still dealing with that hamstring thing or a leg thing, at least and all too as well. So you kind of saw like how, why were they blowing 20-point leads against the New York Knicks? And all too as well, you had your point guard in the corner and all too as well because you're really trying to preserve his body and all too as well. As much as I love the Jays, more like Jaylen Brown, I guess, in this scenario because he was in the game 7 at least and all too as well. His playmaking is not, it's not at the level of Jason Tatum and all too as well. And it's not like a knock at his game or anything like that too as well and all. But like he had trouble. Like the guy had like over 10 offensive fouls in the series and all too as well. So he had struggle just finding space just to create for a shot and all too as well. Not really a knock, but it would have been great for him to have a point guard that can really, like one of his best plays is him being on the baseline and cutting, to the basket and a backdoor play, basically with the defender and all with the point guard is basically, basically feeding them at the top of the key, top of the wing, at least and all too as well. You don't have that. You didn't have that a lot this year and all too as well with him and all too as well, and especially with his explosiveness and all too as well. It's so easy for a point guard to find him in those type of scenarios in the baseline, if not even in the dunker and all too as well with a backdoor type play or just playing off your defender and all, especially with the strength that he's picked up over the past couple seasons and all too as well. So if there's anything I can say that that blew that 3-1 lead against the Philadelphia 76ers, I really think it was just a lack of a point guard, lack of their running a real offense and all too as well. That's why you kind of seen them jacking threes. That's why I bring up the Knicks series too last year. Why they're jacking so many threes because they're not running any type of simple offense and all too as well. Last year they had the point guard. I would be fair there. But Drew Holiday wasn't Drew Holiday, in my opinion, too, as well, where he made great impact in the Cleveland series, the Indiana Pacers series, and obviously in the finals and all, too, as well. And even he didn't make the impact in the Miami Heat series. That's why I'm making a big deal about Derek White and all. Derek White had like a 2-game series in Miami by himself where he's averaging like 30 points a game and all, too, as well, because he's playing off of a great point guard more than playing point guard and all too as well. And even the year before when his numbers started to pick up, it was with Marcus Smart and all too as well. Even guys like me wanted him to play more, but maybe, a guy like Marcus Smart as a point guard, Drew Holiday as a point guard is probably helping the guy out more than just giving him the whole enchilada and all too as well. And, coming up short, unfortunately, and all too as well. But going into a gap year and all too as well, I'm a fair. I feel like I had a fair assessment of the team and all. I feel like this team wasn't going anywhere if there was no Jason Tatum healthy and all too as well. I wish he was healthy for game 7, at least all too as well would have made a huge difference and all too as well. But I thought he'd be healthy, coming back in March, you think he'd be healthy for the rest of the playoffs and all. But it makes sense that he would have, coming back from Achilles would have a moment where he's not going to be healthy for like 2 to 3 weeks and all. You would hope and that would be in the regular season and all too as well. But unfortunately, it's in the middle of the playoffs and all too as well. So I feel like that's I hear the talks of, you need a backup big and all too as well, or another big and all too as well. I just feel like Kada wasn't used properly. not used properly, but wasn't used efficiently. I would say better at least, because obviously it was used properly. But a whole bunch of foul trouble and all too as well. And I don't think it's more of him not able to play the center position. It's just more of him, the poise and the awareness of things of that nature kind of go up a level when you're not getting fed in certain scenarios and all. Because there are plenty of scenarios with the Boston Celtics offense where even Vucevic would have just a smaller player pinned, and they wouldn't feed them in that type of scenario too as well. And I just think that's a point guard issue. It's not like Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, and Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum can do it, but unfortunately, you only got a good sample size of seeing that with him on the court at least and all too as well. Vucevic got hurt the first game. Jason Tatum came back this season and all too as well, so you never really got to see that and all too as well. But there are plenty of times, like I said, that Nimi Queta, and especially Vucevic, would have a guy sealed, smaller player sealed, and the guards or the wings would not be seeing that on time at least and all, like too late, where the defender or with the team, the opposing team would figure it out and have that covered at least and all too as well. So, but yeah, it's to me why they blew a 3-1 lead and all, just the lack of a point guard. I would love Marcus Smart back. Guy's got a $5 million player option for the Lakers next year and all. Players don't typically pick up their options and all, unless they're Trevor Story and all. And that's a different story I'll get into and all too as well. Guy got on the IL and all too as well. But yeah, like a guy like Marcus Smart, if you can bring him back for $5 million, that'd be awesome in my opinion. And the fact this team went this far, and maybe you have a point guard there too as well. I know this talks about Giannis and all too as well. I don't know how believable that is, because I just don't see Jaylen Brown and or Jason Tatum getting moved with Brad Stevens at the helm and all too as well. So if there was a solution there, definitely a point guard. Definitely going to need a point guard. Can't go into the season without a point guard. Can't have Payne Pritchard start for you. That's just, I found that ridiculous and all too as well. So in that instance, I would blame Mazzulla there. Maybe you could have prepared Derek White better for the point guard position more than Payne Pritchard. You were trying to give him the keys. Didn't work out, in my opinion. And maybe it didn't work out, because if it worked, you could have put Jason Tatum still in there, Payne Pritchard, if he was that type of point guard. But he's just not. He's just not. The guy's a scorer. I'm not going to knock his game or anything like that. Guy could have been 6th man of the year this year if he had a few more games on the bench, back to back. No lie. At least in all Tuesday. Is it back to back? Could have been back to back. I think there's the championship year. I don't know who won last year. I think it was Payne Pritchard last year. I'm not going to lie. So it could have been back to back. But lack of a point guard, I feel like, hurt the Celtics. Reason why, even without Jason Tatum there in Game 7 for sure, was the reason why I think they couldn't pull it off and all too as well. So the other first round series, at least, since I'm so damn behind and all too as well. You see there, there on the right, yeah. Knicks took care of the Hawks. Hawks made it interesting, at least through 3 games. But then the way the Knicks have been playing, we'll get into it with their second round beating of the Sixers. We can spoil that but all too as well. But basically took care of the Hawks after Game 3 and all too as well. Basically carried on into the second round and all too as well. Raptors, Cavs, did they go 7? Yeah, went 7. Nobody could win a road game in that series, at least and all too. It was a little different for the Cavs in second round, and we'll get to it. The only second round series left, at least and all too as well. But no one can win a series there. I'll be fair to the Raptors. If they were healthy, I think Brandon Ingram ended up getting hurt. I keep saying IQ. People have a problem with that. At least certain people have a problem with that. But Emmanuel quickly never played in that series, and I think he would have made a big difference in the series for how close it was and all too as well. Every game was pretty close. I don't remember a blowout, especially on the second half of the series. I can't think of a blowout and all too as well. The Cavs got these turnover problems, and we'll get into it because they're in the second round at least and all too as well. But probably one of your boring series, even though it won 7 games and all too as well, because no one won a road game in that series and all, so it's kind of disappointing there. And then you had the Pistons and the Magic. Well, the Magic had themselves a 3-1 series and all too as well, but they blew it. I just think the Pistons were a better team, at least and all too as well. It took them a while to figure out. You just got to give the Magic a shout out there, because they were just a good matchup against the Pistons, at least and all too as well. But the lack of offense just hurt them at the end. Jamal Mosley got fired, I think a day or two after that. I had my spiel throughout the season, if not one of the last few episodes. Well, not throughout the season. Well, maybe throughout the season, though. But I had my spiel about him saying how bad they were and all too as well. But yeah, give him a shout out. They figured out something. They had a 3-1 lead and all too as well. Maybe, Paul McCarroll have a bigger game sooner and maybe they can win a game there and all too as well. But I still give them a shout out for as bad they looked against the Celtics in the last game of the season to where they were able to get to a game away from getting the second round of the playoffs at least. And all, I would commend them and all too as well. But shout out to the Pistons. They just seem to keep figuring out shit, and we're gonna talk about that too in the second round and all too as well. It makes Game 7 tomorrow very interesting to me. I can't figure these playoffs out. I'm not gonna lie, because I kept going on the narrative of experience, and that's really like not working. With the Spurs going into the conference finals and all, with with like multiple players with first time experience and all too as well. But obviously I'm skipping ahead. I'm a little excited and all too as well. But yeah, big shout out to the Pistons at least and all for winning that series against the Magic, and as I said, in the second round matchup against the Cavs. But let's go to the West to finish off the first round, at least all too as well. But start from the top to the bottom. Thunder beat the Suns. Yeah, I thought that would be something at least and all, but it was nothing. Really nothing to talk about there and all too as well. Lakers Rockets. Thought the Lakers could win in 6. They did win in 6. To me, not surprisingly, but there was no Kevin Durant for the Rockets. To be fair, I still think they out talent the Lakers without Kevin Durant playing there, but I'm pretty sure I've had my spiel about Ime Udoka and his lack of offense on this podcast and all too as well. So it wasn't really hard to see that LeBron James can take care of business against that too as well, even with his lack of talent on that team and all too as well. But definitely the big surprise of the first round, T-Wolves beating the Nuggets and all too as well. And it's not that the T-Wolves beat the Nuggets that's the surprise. It's that the T-Wolves had basically nobody playing for a while, and they were still able to beat the Denver Nuggets with Ayo Dosunmu dropping like back-to-back, if not 40-point games, back-to-back 35-plus games. And all too as well. Jaden McDaniels coming through big time with his no defense comments about the team at least, and all, and still backing it up and all big time and all too as well. I'm trying to think. Terrence Shannon, young cat, came through and helped out the team too as well. Dante DiVincenzo to the injury point about the T-Wolves and all, tore his Achilles unfortunately and all too as well. And Anthony Edwards, the series is over. We'll get to it. Let me not spoil things, but Anthony Edwards has been dealing with a knee issue throughout the playoffs and all too as well. And he basically wasn't playing in the second half of that series and all too as well. And Denver had Jokić in, had Murray in, but no Aaron Gordon. So I'll be fair there at least and all. And it made the difference. I think they showed their dominance in the first couple of games and all, but as soon as Aaron Gordon got hurt, no, let me not say that. I think the T-Wolves won if not game 1, they won game 2 or something like that. Let me not say that. At least on 2 as well. But one of the games, at least, I think they blew him out when they did win, in Denver, at least on 2 as well. But a huge difference without him in there and all 2 as well. So, but yeah, big shock. I think that's the biggest shocker. Outside the Lakers, maybe Houston Rockets, and obviously, the Celtics blowing a 3-1 lead to the Philadelphia 76ers and all 2 as well. That was a big shocker too as well. The Denver Jokić, and some people say the best player in the league, at least on 2 as well. With no Anthony Edwards, you would think they could take care of business and weren't able to. Even still being down, I think 3-1, winning at Denver in Game 5. Maybe you would think they could come back and make a series of it, but weren't able to. And on 2 as well. And then the team of the playoffs, for sure. The Spurs beating the Trailblazers, which I thought would be a little interesting series. And the Blazers made it kind of interesting. I'm not going to say too interesting. But with their sassiness out there and all, too, as well, we were able to beat the Spurs there. I mean, the Spurs were able to beat the Blazers there. And in 5 games dominantly, too, as well, honestly. I think Victor missed the game with a concussion and all, too, as well. But able to get through the Blazers to the second round and all, too, as well. So getting a little bit more caught up now. You know what I mean? So let's get there. We'll stay to the West, at least, since the East. Well, let me zigzag a little bit and all too as well. The Thunder swept the Lakers. Interesting games at least. I think 3 of the 4 games the Lakers were up at halftime and all too as well. But talent discrepancy was real on that sense at least and all too as well. They weren't the Rockets and they didn't know how to use their talent. Ime Udoka, shout out and all too as well. But Thunder took care of them and all too as well. And I haven't been able to watch like that, as you could hear with my car issues in the beginning of the show and all too as well. But saw that the Lakers were up, 3 times at halftime. Maybe got a shot and all too as well. Even the 4th game and all. Ooh, got the lead with I think 25 seconds, something like that late. If not 45 seconds. I knew they had the lead with a minute left late and all. Not big, like a minute, like a point or 2 and all too as well. But weren't able to pull through, weren't even to push it to 5 games or something like that too as well. Even had Dylan Brooks at the Crypto.com, arena and all iced out and all too. So shout out to Iceman. Yeah, that's another reason why I didn't do the episode yesterday. And I'm doing it tonight Shout out to Iceman and all too as well. But I love good music. I can't lie. But yeah, Thunder took care of the Lakers 4-0 to the conference finals again and all too as well. I'm a hater. Yeah, everyone knows. I mean, people that are aware with me know I'm a hater. The next quick series, Knicks spanking, BTAing. I don't know what you want to call that because that was not a series. Makes me disappointed that we lost to the Celtics. I mean, lost to the Sixers and all too as well. But if we had point guard issues against the Sixers, I don't know how our point guard issues were going to go against the Knicks and all too as well. I was never really comfortable facing them throughout the season, at least not going into the playoffs and all. Unless Jason Tatum was healthy, at least and all. And, he was. But how healthy would he would have been in that series and all too as well? He was going to need some time before starting that series if the Celtics were able to get past the Sixers and all. But the Knicks were able to trounce them, took over their trap, down to Philly and all. It's ridiculous seeing that shit and all too as well. I still don't understand why they shut down the escalators at used to be called Wells Fargo Arena. Now they call it Xfinity Mobile Arena. It's weird, but it's weird to me. I thought Wells Fargo Arena was fine and all too. So it's a reputable bank. You know what I mean? What's wrong with that? But I guess Xfinity is the new thing and all too as well. But yeah, Knicks fans came through, and I can understand. I mean, similar seats or prices of seats in MSG are like $800. You can go to Philadelphia for $300 to $600. I did. I saw Jason Tatum drop some beautiful things in Game 6 of 2023 for like $500, $600 and all. So I totally get the sentiment and all too as well. But definitely took over the trap, took over. Anunoby hurt his hamstring, unfortunately, and he still dominated stuff too as well. I thought Game 3 would be a little interesting. No OG Anunoby, nope. Looks like the Sixers didn't show up and all too as well. But Sixers weren't ready for that. I'll be real, at least and all too as well. It makes me unfortunate as a C's fan to see that and all too as well. And to think maybe we could have done something better. I don't think we would have been the Knicks, at least not too as well. I don't think we're that type of team this year. If Jason Tatum was healthy, I'm feeling different. But he's just not healthy and all, so I can understand why. But yeah, another blowout, basically, a sweep. So you had two sweeps in the second round of the two sweeps of the second round in the NBA playoffs and all. But, to the cover that I had and all too as well, it took so long for me to get to these pivotal game sixes and all. Where am I at? Like 30 minutes in. And all too as well. Got a lot to catch up on and all too as well. But two great games. Oh, not two great. Yeah, two great games. Yeah, last night and all too as well. More for the Spurs. Let's go to the Spurs and T-Wolves and all, since the other series is still going to be going on. There'll be Game 7 tomorrow. I think at 8 tomorrow for the Cavs and Pistons and all. But Spurs T-Wolves series, damn good series. I'm not gonna lie. Games that I was anticipating after healing from the whole car bullshit that I've explained and all too as well. The games, the ones that I was hoping to watch didn't turn out great, but you got the whole like Wemby elbow thing and all too as well. You have what's it called there? Oh, they got something else there that I'm sleeping on. Well, Julius Randle not showing up and all too as well, which is not a new story. You know what I mean? If you're an NBA playoff fan and all too as well, but Anthony Edwards still showing out. You know what I mean? Coming out there and playing for them. Terrence Shannon, yeah, let me go there at least and all. Got Terrence Shannon finally submerging himself and having an impact there for the T-Wolves and all too as well. I would assume it was a great pickup for them. I did not see that coming for them and all too as well. I wish we picked them up. I'm not gonna lie, honestly, too as well. But I understand the whole big emphasis and all too as well. We had Anthony Simon, so who cares anyway, to that sense at least and all too as well. But yeah, no, just a great series. Not much for it. Obviously, I didn't watch most of this stuff. I just started watching it. But Game 6 was great. I'll get into that at least and all too as well. Great. I mean, the second quarter was a big difference in that basketball game and all too as well. I think the Spurs were on if it wasn't like a 16-0 run, it was like a 21-2 run in the first half of the second quarter and all. It was basically the difference of the game. I think the T-Wolves outscored the Spurs at a certain point until the fourth quarter came around and, Wembanyama and the rest of the boys too as well took care of business and all. But the Spurs are like a dope, scary team with like no experience and all. And they just keep getting better. Dylan Harper is the shit. Stephon Castle has a 3-point NBA shot. Holy shit. And De'Aaron Fox is a great number 2 with Wemby right now. They're kind of looking like Murray and Jokic right now too as well. And I don't even think they've even pressed on the gas pedal yet. I'm not going to lie, honestly, because I just think Wemby was that dominant in this series and all too as well. The man had 12 blocks in one game. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. I think he averaged 4 or something in the whole series at least and all too as well, just on the stats I'm catching up with and all too as well. So just a great series there. I get the T-Wolves credit. If it weren't for Dante DiVincenzo getting hurt, this is a series honestly too as well. Maybe they don't look so bad in the second quarter, and it's a basketball game going into the whole fourth quarter and all too as well. But I mean the huge thing honestly for the T-Wolves, there's no Julius Randle, no Rudy Gobert. This is more on Julius Randle. Rudy Gobert, I mean he's more out there for defensive purposes. Instances here or there, can you just dunk the ball and all too as well. But at the end of the day, more about Julius Randle really not showing up. And it's not him not showing up. Just I don't know if he's got the game to be playing in the playoffs and all too as well. And if he is, not be getting like over 30 minutes in a basketball game and all too as well. But to get nothing out of him, and the fact that we're in this series so close for so long and all too as well, did take Wemby to be out with the elbow issue, with the elbow thing, with help hitting Naz Reid and all too as well in game, I think this is game 3, if not game 4. This is game 4 that he did that and all too as well. So, but yeah, unfortunately, just it looks like unfortunate situation with Julius Randle not showing up basically and all too as well. Not the DiVincenzo being out, which really made a huge difference in my opinion for them and all too as well. But the Spurs move on, facing them dusty ass Thunder. To me, it's a great team. I'm not trying to hate on them. Well, I am hating on them. I don't want to act like they ain't great. They're great, but yeah. The dusty ass Thunder and all. I did not anticipate this series though, because again, I'm a little guy with the whole you gotta have experience to make things happen and all. And look at them, look at the Spurs right now. You got one guy with playoff experience on their rotation, at least, no two as well. No, I lied. 2 guys, Luke Cornett too. So shout out to Luke Cornett and all too as well. But they have another guy there in Harrison Barnes, but he ain't playing because you got guys like Carter Bryant and Keldon Johnson showing out and having big moments in games. For the Spurs for this run and all too as well. So a great collision course. You got the what's it called there? Oh, you got the Spurs beating the Thunder 4-1 throughout the regular season and all too as well. I think one game 2 was like an NBA Cup game and all too as well with the Spurs. I think dominated. I'm not gonna lie, dominated. And I don't know, J-Dub not healthy and all, but I'm going too deep. I'm previewing conference games. We'll do that since I got no car to distract me no more and all too as well. But what's it called there? But yeah. Spurs really took care of the T-Wolves. I really think a fascinating series, at least and all too as well, the way the T-Wolves beat the Nuggets and all too as well. But Wembanyama's dominance took over, and he's having one of those years and all too as well. If he ends up beating the Thunder and not winning MVP, I'm scared. I'm scared. You know what I mean? I'm really scared for the rest of the season and the rest of the next 10 years as an NBA fan and all too as well. But let's get to the other pivotal game 6 that's going 7 and all too as well. And quite an impressive game for the Detroit Pistons and all too as well, for a team that's been made fun of not having any offense and all too as well. Well, their defense is making things happen where it's giving their offense plenty of time to figure out things. And now you have Jalen Duren finally showing out. I don't know if he had his best game, but I saw, for a game that I finally got to watch, at least and all, saw some great impact out of him in the fourth quarter and all, making the bigs of the Cavaliers look soft all over again and all too as well. But Dennis Jenkins was huge for them, huge shots at the top of the wing multiple times for them, especially in that fourth quarter and all too as well. Kate Cunningham, just a continuing thing. Can I find it? Let's go deeper into that, because I'm not sure of his stats. I don't think he had, like in game 5 where they lost, dropped like 39 points or something like that, and they still lost against the Cavaliers and all. But for this game, let me get a recap up. I know my issue's gonna be so slow and whack, but we are what we are. You know what I mean? So let me just get some let me get some stats up for this game at least. I don't think Kate Cunningham went big here. Yeah, 19 excuse me, 19 points. Did he have 10 assists or anything like that? 8 assists. 8 assists and 7 turnovers. It ain't big, but the way the Cavaliers are turning over the ball, it may not even matter in a series like this and all too as well. But let's go. What am I seeing here? But yeah, what I was trying to say there. Kate Cunningham with a short game at least and all too as well. Pause. I didn't want to mean anything by that. But what an okay game. Not one of his big games at least and all too as well. They're still able to come out. Where are the points right now? Did that mess up? Okay, 21 points. All right, I'm looking at like the field goal attempts. My bad. But 21 points for Cade. Jalen Duren dropped 15. I think that's his best game of the playoffs and all too. So I can go to Basketball Reference and check, but it's not that big of a deal. Dennis Jenkins, Dennis Jenkins, yeah, big game again for him and all too as well coming off I don't know if he's coming off the bench anymore for them. I think he's kind of starting for them at this point, right? That's their starting lineup, right? Yeah. I think he's starting for Duncan Robinson, but big shots in my opinion. Only 15 points. I don't know how they do. How many points did they score in that game? Let me just check that out real quick and all too as well. 115. How? I'm confused by that. I'm not gonna lie, but that's how great they play. They kept the Cavaliers under 100 points and all too as well, and they were able to pull out a big win on the road and all too as well. The Cavaliers were coming off of a road win, in Game 5 against them and all too as well, and now Pistons now came back into Cleveland. I thought the Cleveland Cavaliers were gonna come out and just close things out, and they were able to come back and went on the road and now forced this thing to Game 7, which makes this game so damn interesting and all too as well. Because Donovan Mitchell, I'm kind of disappointed in. Like I in a matchup like this, no one's really in the way and all too as well. I thought he would have like a big, like one of those big 38, 39 point games and all. And I don't know if he's dealing with something because he looks slow to me. His gait looks slow. I'm being honest about Donovan Mitchell and all too as well. So I'm a little worried about the Cavs. I'm very excited about the Pistons, and this is what I wanted to say about the Pistons and all. It seems like they play better when the odds are against them and all too as well. And you kind of understand it too as well with the way they play physically and defensively and the way they play like that too as well. So they really get down in the trenches and play a great brand of basketball and all too as well. And I guess I'm trying to say like that. The way the 1-2 matchup set up nicely throughout the whole season with the Spurs and the Thunder and all too as well. It's a nice conference finals we have in the West. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want Detroit versus the Knicks because of the way the matchups have gone this season and last year in the playoffs too as well. You can argue, you know what I mean, that the Pistons playoff experience hurt them last year, but they're playing better this year and all. And maybe with the Knicks aren't they're not better than they were last year and all too as well. They just coach differently, just going with the talent at least and all too as well. It's kind of like an even series and all too as well. Like it's not the same 1-3 or 1-2, I should say. It would be a 1-3 matchup. But I don't think the Celtics or the Thunder or the Spurs or the Knicks this year and all too as well. And the way the Pistons have played throughout the whole year and the way it's working in the playoffs and all, they seem more even with their flaws. Because that's what I'm saying with the Celtics. We had our flaws at least and all too as well, but the Pistons have more of the ingredient because that's why I make a big deal. People keep thinking I make like this huge thing about Jason Tatum and all. The guy's just a great playmaker, and that's what Kate Cunningham is for the Pistons and all. So even though they don't have all the scoring that you need, you still got a guy that's gonna put certain guys in certain scenarios just make a shot or two, at least on two as well. And you're seeing that with Dennis Jenkins basically. He did it all season. Can this G League guy do it in the playoffs? He's doing it in the playoffs. The guy took the starting job from Duncan Robinson and now stepped up big time for them and all two as well. And he's done it all year. And the first half of the season, not even first quarter of the season, the Pistons were dealing with their injuries from Cade Cunningham all the way down. And you got Dennis Jenkins coming through and dropping 25-point games and keeping them in basketball games and all too as well. I remember, I think I mentioned this in the podcast too as well, that game that Detroit had against OKC and on how great and close they kept that game without Cade Cunningham playing and all. They've been doing that all year and all too as well. So it seems like even though the C's had their flaws, it didn't seem like they didn't have the talent, enough to overcome it. The Pistons clearly have their flaws. JB Bickerstaff has his questions. Jalen Duren obviously throughout the playoffs has his questions and all. And who's their second scorer and all. Maybe Tobias Harris's experience would think he'd be that guy for you, or be even that number 3 guy, honestly. But it seems to be Dennis Jenkins who seems to be giving it to you consistently and all. And even though Sir Thompson's not giving you anything offensively, because if it's just his jump shot, he'll give you something offensively because he's a playmaker in himself, but gives you great stuff defensively for that team and all too as well. So they're a cool team. I was hyping up the Charlotte Hornets and they obviously failed on me, and obviously I hype up the Celtics and they fail on me too. So I don't want to do that to the Pistons and all too as well. But they just they were down 3-1 against the Magic, stepped up big time, and won throughout. They were even the first lot, the first half of the series, they couldn't win their first home playoff game until game 2 at least and all. But in game 1, they're still going into game 2. Like, you guys haven't won a home playoff game since 2008 or 2012 or whatever year that was. But it's over 10 years that they hadn't won a whole playoff game until this iteration finally did it and all too as well. So they just seem to keep overcoming things and all too, or overcoming circumstances, adversity, I should say, at least all too as well. Even with their deficiencies offensively or coaching wise or experience wise, they're still doing it. And now they're coming off of a series where they couldn't win a road game, got to win it in order to continue the series. They do it, and now they're in a game 7 at home where it's going to be a lived up crowd in Detroit and all too as well. So I just think a huge shout out to the Pistons and the way they're playing. They put themselves in a great position there, and I can't give them any of the credit and all too as well. So but yeah, I got my buddy Vince in the chat, so I want to address what he's saying there after I catch up and all too as well. But yeah, basically got to the pivotal game sixes, and all took me 40 minutes to finally get to all that because I was so damn behind and all too as well. But if I had to pick about a team that can give you a better series against the Knicks at least and all, I would say the Pistons because they've been showing it to you all season. The Cavs, you kind of know what they are. I think they did a great job adding talent to the team this year with Harden, Ellis, and Schroeder. At least in all two as well. You got nothing out of DeAndre Hunter when you made the move for him last year. And what's it called there? Darius Garland is always hurt in a playoff scenario. So I just think even though James Harden has his questions in the playoffs, you put yourself in a better position, I think, in all two as well. I don't know if Donovan Mitchell is healthy. That's where my question is because I expected a big game out of him in game 6. And you kind of really didn't see it out of him. And I feel like in the fourth quarter he was forcing the issue. And it really wasn't working out for him in all two as well. So that's where my concern is, honestly, going forward for the Cavaliers and all. And I kind of like where the Pistons are pushing and chugging along, turning these things into a grudgy series, whatever I'm trying to say, at least and all. But turning these things muddy, these series against the Magic and now the Cavs muddy, and we're kind of rising above it and all too as well. So a huge shout out to them and all. We got a game 7 for them, like I said, tomorrow at 8, and then I'll sit down and do my conference preview with the Spurs and Thunder, and then whoever wins this game will be facing the Knicks and all too as well. In the Eastern Conference Finals and all too as well. So let me see Vince real quick, my buddy Vince and all. Let me see what he's got. My man Vince Size. The man hosts a morning sports show from 10 to 2 every morning on Twitter. So if you got the time, check him out. You see him in the comments and all too as well after the stream or during the stream. And I'm with my man Vince Size, the Vince Size Sports Show. Google it, 10 to 2 Eastern. You know what I mean, on the Twitter spaces and all too as well. But shout out to him. What's he got? Can't wait for Spurs Thunder. I agree. I can't wait either, Vince. I got Spurs in 6 Western Conference. Okay. All right. I got a little my preview. Probably Monday. I'm not sure when these games start. Okay, well, it's going to be Monday. I'm seeing that the Thunder start at 8:30 at least, not too as well. So probably Monday afternoon. I hope I can get myself on schedule and all too as well. But I may be leaning that way and all too as well. Will be better than the Eastern Conference Finals this year. I disagree if it's Detroit, Vince. I disagree if it's Detroit. Cleveland, I don't know. They got terrible turnover issues, so I really don't want to see that in the Eastern Conference Finals and all. Yeah, what's that? If this was Game 7, was it Jimmy Bickerstaff fought in Cleveland? No, I don't think it's his fault. I mean, I don't think it was his fault in Cleveland anyway. I always think it was a player thing and all too as well. And they got the better players against the Pistons in this series, Vince, and they're falling short again and all. And Kenny Atkinson's coming off a Coach of the Year type of thing. I know I don't mean shit. We got Dwayne Casey, who's won Coach of the Year, and we see how that goes. Even Joe Mazzulla don't want it, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna get it this year and all too as well. So, but yeah, I think if the Pistons are in the series against the Knicks, I think it's an interesting series, and the Pistons have given them trouble all year and all. I know some people don't care about the playoffs and stuff like that too as well, but there are certain things you gotta take seriously and all too as well, and that's why it's more about how the Pistons, took care of the Knicks throughout the season. It's more about how the Pistons are playing right now. And I like how that's going to go against the Knicks and all too as well. Because I'll be fair about the Knicks and Thunder run too. I don't want to come at the Knicks like I got a problem with the Knicks or anything like that too as well. But I just think the Knicks and the Thunder have had some easy runs. And I think this, you're going to see you're going to face some battle-tested teams. Obviously in the Spurs facing the T-Wolves in that battle series. And obviously what the Pistons have gone through in the first 2 rounds. More of their own doing. But this series is a little bit more tougher because of the talent that they're facing with Cleveland. And sort of the experience thing with Cleveland. And they're still overcoming and all too as well. So how far am I in? 45 minutes. I feel like I'm pretty caught up. I'm trying to think of some other sports stuff I can bring up before I go. Obviously, let's talk about the Boston Red Sox and all too as well. Give them a moment. They got a dub. It's kind of fucking dope. I'm not gonna lie. Still 19-26. Not good. And all too as well. But at least they come out with a win here in Atlanta. I was actually gonna go yesterday, but the loss against the Phillies hurt me so much. I didn't want to waste my money, and money's pretty tight to me right now because of the whole car situation and all too as well. So I'm very judicious with money at the moment. I'm not scared to spend it or anything like that, but I'm judicious. I just bought like 3 golf clubs. I got my new driver. I got my new Fairwood. Got the Big Bertha coming in hopefully tomorrow, and got myself a hybrid too as well. So I'm not scared to spend it. I'm just wasn't spending it after that loss against Philly on Thursday and all too as well. But the Sox were able to come out and beat the can I get the score around my face a little bit better? There we go. But able to beat the best team in baseball, ironically, in the Atlanta Braves, 3-2 tonight and all too as well. Wilson Contreras with a big home run in the 8th inning and all. Kind of had the game on silent while I had my Law and Order going and all too as well. No basketball games today, so nothing to watch and all too as well. But what's it called there? But had big home run there in the 8th inning. Chapman tried to blow it, no fault to his own. Monasterio, who I'm a big fan of because Trevor Story is now in the IL, and I hate the way the guy throws the baseball at shortstop right now. So the sports hernia thing, which Trevor Story is apparently dealing with, makes sense to me because he has not looked good defensively all season. I've never seen a guy have to run to make a throw every time. Like, even though Monasterio made that high throw to Wilson Contreras and caused the bases loaded situation with Chapman and all, even though he was able to get out of the inning and the game by kick saving the ball, ironically playing some soccer in baseball today, at least not too as well to win games. But still, Monasterio's able to get the ball, be on his 2 feet, and throw the baseball across the diamond. A little high, but hey, I'm seeing Trevor Story catch it, run, and throw it, and be low. Wilson Contreras has saved many errors for homeboy this year, and all too as well. I was seeing some things on my Twitter this year tonight, about him possibly 6 weeks, 10 weeks based on surgery and recovery. I didn't even know what the hell was going on until I'm hearing Dave O'Brien and Lou Merloni on the podcast today mention that he's on the IL with a sports hernia and all. It makes sense because the man cannot stay flat-footed and make a throw over the cross the diamond and all. I've been frustrated with it since like the first series of this game, first series of the season against the Cincinnati Reds and all too as well. So I find it a plus to see Monasterio there. I think we all want Meyer at shortstop at this point and all, but I say wait for Romy Gonzalez to come back because that'd be a great bat to have in this lineup and all too as well. Will give me some Wilson Contreras type vibes and all too as well. I'm not saying he's gonna be slugging big home runs and big scenarios and all, but Romy Gonzalez against right or left-handed pitching last year was awesome. I'm curious how quick he can, assemble himself. Obviously, he's gonna miss the first 2 months of the season. He's not talked about being back until, or at least estimated to come back through the 60-day DL I think he's on, to come back until like the end of May, beginning of June and all too as well. So if Romy can come back, assimilate himself in a way, that's where I would expect Marcelo Meyer to go to short at that point and all too as well. I would love Trevor Story to do this whole surgery thing and sit out for the rest of the season and all too as well. It's just his at-bats are horrible and all too as well. And the guy used to be great off the outer half of the plate. The guy can't hit the ball off the outer half of the plate. And if you can't hit it, why pitch it to him? I don't even know why. I don't know how he got that home run against the Phillies. Was it Thursday when they won, or Wednesday? Yeah, when they won at least and all too as well. I don't know. And the sports hernia thing just makes sense because he can't get over that outer half of the plate with his bat, and he can't throw the ball flat-footed at shortstop and all too as well. The guy's dealing with something, so it makes sense and all. But let's be positive. Yep, this is the Boston Red Sox. So we're gonna have me negative on the podcast all season and all. We'll see and all too as well. But come up with a cool win, I should say, at least and all too as well. Even though they haven't won many games lately, they have pitched better, so much better lately and all too as well. Another example, if a pitcher can go deep into the game, they win the baseball game, and they won again with Payne Tully going 8 innings, right? He won 8 innings. He won 8, right? He went 8 innings. Yeah, I just want to make sure he can get subbed out for Garrett Whitlock for a batter or something. But he went all 8, pitched 8, had 84 pitches and all. And the Red Sox were able to figure it out. Like I said, with Contreras in the bottom of the 8th, or the top of the 8th, with a big big 2-run home run to give them the lead and all too as well. Willie Abreu with a big clutch hit to get himself on base in the first place. The only good offense besides Wilson Contreras and now Ceddanne Rafaela coming along and all too as well. You're 3 guys that give you offense at this point, consistent offense at this point. Duran was giving you something, and then it fell off. Shout out to Mickey Gasper. Guys I think 7 for 18 or like 7 for 19 coming up and all too as well. And the last time he was up, from what I heard, because I don't think I was watching Boston Red Sox baseball the last time he was up, was 0 for 18 in his last call up. So the fact that he's at least 7 for 18 is kind of damn awesome. And they got him in the 2-hole right now because he just can't stop hitting and all too as well. So some cool things developing. I think the best thing, honestly, is just their pitching staff. Everyone's pitching well. You got Justin Slayton back now. Greg Reisert's probably your only bad pitcher. My bad. Your only bad pitcher, even though he looked all right, I think, in yesterday's outing against the Braves, at least, if not the outing against the Phillies, at least and all too as well. But yeah, you're getting great pitching. Justin Slayton's now back, so he's your 7th inning guy all over again. Whitlock and Chapman, to a degree, have been nails. Probably not as good as last year. Nothing's going to be as good as they were last year, but they're picking the same pace up, no lie, at least in all two as well. Connolly early's been solid. Gave up 2 home runs, but again, it was just 2 runs against the Braves the other last night. What time is it? All right, 10:30. So I wasn't sure what time it was. But what's it called? I think only gave up 2 home runs, but only gave up 2 runs. I think in like 5 and change, at least on 2 as well. Payne Tully's been awesome lately. His last great game too as well was against the Detroit Tigers in the rain and all 2 as well. I think that's his last start coming here. Ranger Suarez has been awesome to me. Like, had an 8-something ERA. The man's chilling with a 3. Should have won the game against the Phillies. I think this was Thursday night, but the team just couldn't get another run over and all too as well. But starting pitching has been awesome. I'm trying to think of him. Brian Bayo, they've used him in openers and all. Apparently they're probably going to do the same thing tomorrow with him and all too as well. But he's been, the guy's pitched over 6 innings over the last 2 games and all too as well. I don't think he's given up a run, if not maybe just 1 run over that stretch and all too as well. So no Garrett Crochet, but you got a lot of guys stepping up. Even young cat Jake Bennett, if I'm getting his name right, gave you a solid start for 5 innings too as well. I forgot who that was and all too as well. But you're getting great stuff from the starting pitching. You just wish guys like Jaron Duran would step up a bit. Orman Anthony hit the IL, and apparently he was coming along a bit. Even though I'm not seeing the power numbers I want, he's still able to hit for average to a better degree, especially before that IL stint and all too as well. So can they hit? And that's going to be the only question with this Red Sox team and all too as well. Rafaela, like I said, is figuring it out. He's looked good. They've moved him up in the lineup too as well. William Abreu has been consistent. Wilson Contreras was struggling until this home run and all. And he kind of, the bat was kind of picking itself up throughout the day, or throughout the game, I should say, anyway. So maybe he's found himself again and all. But you kind of need, Roman Anthony needs to come back and really be that guy, it looks like, at this point and all too as well. And again, there's a lot of questions about Craig Breslow, but looks like he's gonna have to make a move for something and all too as well. But yeah, that's what I got for baseball and the Red Sox for the time being. We'll see how that goes. 19-26. Nobody in the AL is running away with shit. Just the Tampa Bay Rays, I think, at the time being, or for the time being, I should say, at least in all two as well. But I'm trying to think of anything else. Obviously, we got the Diana Rossini and the Mike Vrabel shit for my Patriots and all too as well. I think it's fake news. I don't think it's in there, because once the NFL said they're not conducting any type of investigation into Mike Vrabel, it's just fake news at this point. It's for clicks and all that shit too as well. It is a funny story though. I ain't gonna lie. The whole boat thing, her being pregnant, and Mike Vrabel being out in Tennessee and all too as well. That's just so bad of a look. But for optics at least, no. But the reason why I'm saying it like that, it's not a story that I feel like is gonna have legs and all too as well. Something more people are gonna laugh at in August and all too as well. So it's just more of a what do you call it? Gossip type of thing and all too as well, more in a sports story and all too as well. I wish I had my water near me, but I was so excited to start this show today. I just didn't want to hold up anymore. I feel like I've been holding up for too long and all too as well. But to Schefter's point, at least, I'm sure he mentioned it while I was away. And the AJ Brown thing to New England is a guaranteed thing, or not a done deal thing. Let me not say guaranteed or anything like that, but basically close to a done deal and all too. I don't understand why it's such a done deal and all too as well. That's what makes me nervous about his the I guess the physical and all too as well. We know what happened with the Max Crosby thing with the Ravens and all, so I don't think it's anything like that. But it's just like, how many years does AJ Brown really have? Does that, he's had knee issues with the Philadelphia Eagles over the last few years and all too as well. So, or last couple of years, I should say. So I have my worries there that the Eagles aren't so desperate for a pick and all too as well. I get that he's older, but he's better than DJ Moore. He's better than Jalen Waddle, even though I'm a fan of the move by the Broncos and all too as well. So I thought he would get similar compensation, but apparently his age is a big part of it. And I really do think the knee is a part of it too as well. Not as bad as like Crosby, but I think it's a fair question about AJ Brown, who's had knee issues. He missed the playoff game for the Eagles in 23, and I think to a knee. And when he missed games, I don't know about last year, but I think when he missed games the year prior, it was for a knee thing and all too as well. So that's just my little concern and all too as well. Kyrie Irving came to the Celtics with a knee thing, and the guy needed like a full scope basically. The first season he was here with the Celtics and all, and even had himself, one of his best seasons was that first year with the Celtics and all. With Gordon Hayward getting hurt and all too as well, and was unable to finish that season. That team went to the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7 against LeBron James with Terry Rozier and all too as well. So imagine that was Kyrie Irving and all too as well. So I got a little I got a little nervous with knee stuff and all too as well. So, but we'll see. It looks like a done deal though. I think it'll be a huge thing if they can bring AJ Brown in. You got Romeo Dobbs there too as well. You're gonna have Kyle Williams, Pop Douglas, Mac Williams, and Kayshon Boutte. I don't know if Kayshon Boutte's gonna be here. We'll see. If you did trade for AJ Brown and all too as well, but a better assessment of better assortment, I should say, of wide receivers. Last year wasn't bad going in. That was the worst wide receiver group in football and all, and the way the Super Bowl played out, maybe you had a point there, but they were able to get to the Super Bowl, so they weren't as bad as they looked. Obviously, adding AJ Brown and Romeo Dobbs would make a huge difference to that pass catching team and all. Less pressure for me since Hunter Henry's back, having a guy like AJ Brown and Romeo Dobbs would be cool guys to have. So those guys would be more of your hot receivers, more than relying on Hunter Henry, who I think, his drop in the first drive of the series of the Super Bowl, I thought it was big for their offense and all too as well, because I think he's one of their hot receivers and all too as well. Diggs was, but if he can't get open because of the guy coming off an ACL, the fact that he was doing what he was doing was impressive and all too as well. But it kind of came up more in the playoffs and all too as well. He'll probably look better this year, year 2 off an ACL. He'll probably look better for hopefully the Pats maybe, but for somebody else this year too as well. Just got off that case or that trial and all too as well. So I'm sure he'll sign with somebody soon and all too as well. So, but yeah, just basically as a Pats fan, you're basically waiting for the AJ Brown thing. I know the Rossini and the Mike Vrabel thing is out there and all, but at this point, I think it is what it is. All the stuff that they're showing too as well, stuff of 3-4 years ago and all. So that's why I kind of call it news. It's not going to hold that much weight anymore at this point and all too as well. But we'll see with the AJ Brown thing and all too as well for the Pats and all too as well. Do anticipate over the next couple of weeks and all too as well, just based off the talk. And it seems like every team seems done and all. But I think the Fat Lady's singing. There's a lot of music going outside my apartment today and all too as well. I don't want to sound like an ICE person or anything like that too as well, but a lot of Central Americans are having their fun right now too as well. I don't want to come off like that too as well. I'm just being honest of where I'm at in my environment and all too as well. But I do appreciate you guys listening, Vince. I appreciate you all up in the chat and all too as well, my man. But I do appreciate you guys listening. I'm gonna call it. I'm at an hour and all too as well. I do not see another hiatus. I promise. There's no more hiatuses. It's got to stop. We got to put in some content on the YouTube channel and for the podcast library and all too as well. But again, if you guys, I do appreciate you guys listening. If you guys, I would appreciate you guys shared, drop more comments if you guys listen to the after stream and all too as well. And obviously press on that subscribe button to help support the podcast. And if you guys are on the playback side on the podcast and all too as well, continue, listening to every episode and all too as well. Share it and all too as well to your people or your social media people, people in 3D life too as well, whatever you want to do. But I keep forgetting to share that about the podcast. I keep telling people to add it to your library. Well, you got some listeners that just are already in the library, so tell them to do something else, right? You know what I mean? Marketing things, I guess. But please share it, you know what I mean? Share it along your social media or to your friends and all too as well. And if you guys are on Apple, Spotify, and Overcast, continue leaving us a rating and all too as well, and support the podcast and all too as well. But sure, I will be back. I think Monday after Game 7 of Cavs Pistons, and ahead of the Thunder and Thunder Spurs and all too as well. So we'll talk soon. Peace. Peace.